Welcome to the Art Room with me as your art teacher, Mrs. Samala. I'll tell you a little bit about myself before we get class started. I love teaching art and I love making art. I also love to do anything I can outside, like hiking or biking or going for walks or kayaking or floating on lakes, all kinds of things. Mrs. Samala loves the outdoors. I also love spending time with friends and family. And here's a picture of my family at the state fair. It's one of our favorite things to do before we go back to school. So we go to the Minnesota State Fair usually. This is my husband, who also is a teacher. He's a science teacher in Duluth. This is my son, his wife, and my daughter. And they all go to the College of St. Scholastica. They're all going into the medical field like doctors and nurses. And then this is my youngest daughter, who still is at Hermantown. She is a junior or an 11th grader over at the high school. All of my children, my husband and myself, all graduated from Hermantown. So we're all Hawks, just like all of you. And then this is the other member of our family, our crazy dog, Cosmo. He loves to dig in the summertime. So this is him getting a bath at the sink with his dirty paws. And this is him in the wintertime. He runs around and he gets snowballs stuck to his belly. He's so silly. And then again, he has to go into the sink. He makes us laugh a lot, and sometimes he gets into trouble a lot too. So now I'd like you to think about, what is art? What are we going to be doing this year? What is this all about? Art can be photography. This is a famous female photographer from many years ago. She's an American photographer. Her name was Dorothea Lange. It could be sculptures. So there's an imaginative sculpture. It could be drawings. Some of you might recognize this as a cave drawing, super ancient. Art can be furniture. Yes, this actually is a bench. Wild. Art could be paintings. This is an awesome Jackson Pollock painting. Called him Action Jackson. Art can also be clothing. So this is a Plains Indian dress. So more of a Native American dress of the Plains people, made out of either deer or probably buffalo hide. Art can also be fibers. So what fibers are like yarns or strings or fabrics put together. So this is of artwork of the world, and it's made all of different kinds of fibers in art. Art can also be architecture. This is Frank Lloyd Wright, who's a famous architect. That's a person that designs and helps build buildings. He calls this building Falling Water. He designed it specifically so a waterfall would go through the person's house. He loved nature like I do. Why do people make art anyway? Well, people make art to tell stories. There's lots of stories happening here. Or to share feelings. This is called birthday. And these people look like they're floating because they're so happy. Sometimes it's to make things look special. So this is actually a human heart, not a real human heart. It's what a human heart can look like, but it's made out of maps. That's interesting. Our hearts are important. It can be to remember special people. This is the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C. Some of you might have been there before. On this very shiny wall, these are all names of the brave men and women that were in the Vietnam War, and they're remembered here, or that sometimes it's to remember special times. So take a look at this. She's missing her teeth. That's so special. And so is the kitty. That's pretty funny. Art can be huge, like a playground. Awesome. Or it could be tiny. This artist takes pencils. So these are regular old pencils, just a super close view of them. And he actually carves the graphite that's in the pencil and the wood of the pencil, like over here in this saw, to make these tiny, tiny sculptures. Amazing. People make art everywhere in the world, and I mean everywhere. Here's just 2 examples. One is from Australia. This is an Aboriginal dot painting. So the Aboriginal people were the native people to that country of Australia. Oh, and this is a Native American buffalo hide. So also peoples that were native to the United States. And this would tell a story, and it could also be used as a blanket or a rug, or you could wear this too. So it has 2 purposes. Artists choose their materials. What are materials? Well, materials are what your artwork is made out of. So this is not a drawing. This is actually a tape, which was the way that I used to listen to music when I was your age. And the person has taken the tape out of it's actually the tape that's in this tape cassette. They've taken it out of here and drawn with it like a marker. And this is a super famous artist, Jimi Hendrix. And so they drew with the tape. So that's the material instead of a pencil. Hey, what is this scary dinosaur made out of? It's not bone, it's balloons. And these imaginary sea creatures are made out of something very special, colored pencils. These are the ends of the colored pencils, and these are the other ends of them. So cool. Art can also make us feel. It could be calm. This is Frida Kahlo, a very famous female artist. Or joyful. Yes, Minions are an artwork. The artist created these characters, and they can make all kinds of faces. Or it could be sad. Or lonely. Or it could be surprised. What is happening in this painting? The question then, now after looking at these ideas, is what is art to you? What materials do you like to work with? What do you like to look at? What do you want to learn about art, or play with a new material, or make some, have some new feelings, or share some ideas? That's what we're going to explore this year in the art class.